Good evening, everybody. My name's Heath Burnett. I'm the offensive line coach at Fleming County High School. This is going into this next season, it'll be my fourth year coaching there. I went to school at Fleming County High School and went on to play at a small NA high school here in Kentucky called Kentucky Christian University. I played there and then I went on and graduated, and I'm working now for a energy distribution company called Fleming Mason Energy, where we take care of 8 counties here in Kentucky and provide them electric. And then after about a year working at Fleming Mason Energy, I got the call from my head coach in high school. His name's Bill Spencer, and he asked me if I would be interested in becoming the offensive line coach at Fleming County, which is kind of been a dream of mine. I've been wanting to coach football for a long time. Been playing football since I was 7 years old. Been around it, for since that time. And whenever I got the call, I was all about it, ready to go. And just this past season was the first time in school history we've won back-to-back district titles. And I've had 3 of my players in the 3 years that I've been there actually decide to go to college, and we actually had one commit today to go to Lindsey Wilson College, and his name's Cooper Swartz. So I just want to give him a shout out there, one of my players. And my contact information here, it's my cell phone there. You can contact me through my email or my cell phone, or you can follow me on Twitter there. You'll see it. You can DM me. We can talk about football. Happy to do that anytime. Love to talk about it. Love to be around it. So just whatever you guys need. So what I'm going to talk about today will be pass protection. Just kind of breaking it down, how I view it. I haven't been into coaching that long. Like I said, this is my 4th year at Fleming County, and I'm 26 years old. So just kind of learning still what all to teach my guys, and what best suits them and what I really need to do, season by season to make them better. So I'm going to break it down by stance, steps, your eyes looking in pass pro, when to make contact with a defender, your hand placement on them once you do make contact, and just be aggressive. Pass pro is not a passive thing. The person across from you has pads on just like you do, so you don't have to be worried about hurting them or vice versa. Okay, your stance. I teach my guys your feet are shoulder width apart, so you don't want to be too wide. You don't want to be too narrow with that either. And then also it's a stagger stance. So whatever hand you're going to put down, that foot would be back in that stagger stance. And then big chest, have your chest out, kind of showing that name across your chest, those numbers, and then have your head back. You don't want to have your head down. Don't want to have it too far back either, looking up. You kind of want to see what's in front of you. And then sink those hips down and be balanced. It might be a little elementary, but the first few practices we have every year, I have my guys go down on their stance from freshman to senior. I don't really care at what level you are or how experienced you are. We go down in our stance, and we see how balanced you are. I'll walk through my first 5 guys that come up, and I'll just slap the hand. You don't want to have too much weight on front there, or you're just going to fall over. Defensive guy's going to see that and take advantage of those things. So I preach to my guys to stay balanced. And like I said, that might be elementary, but it seems to work with us as the season goes on. You can see our guys improve as it goes on as well. Okay, your steps. Around where I'm at right now at Fleming County, they're not really taught to kick slide or kick step. They're just kind of told to keep that guy in front of you and don't let him past you and give your quarterback time to throw. So coming from Fleming County and then going on to college, I kind of learned as I went about this stuff, because like I said, I had no idea when I went to college about steps and things like that. So I learned whenever I was in college, and I brought it with me whenever I started coaching. So I teach my guys to kick slide or kick step, and like I said, we're in that stagger stance, and that foot that is back, we teach them to kick slide. It's a 6-inch step. So as they're kick sliding, their heads up, all that stuff we talked about earlier, heads up, hips down, all that. See what's in front of you. My interior linemen, my centers, my guards, they're at 1 to 2 steps, depending on the defensive lineman. And my exterior, my tackles, they're at two or three steps, kick slide steps. Also, depending on the defender, if you have a wide 9 guy, it may be a little bit deeper than that. So, on our quarterback rollouts, uh, I'll kind of go into detail on the steps on this slide and then the hand placement stuff with that too. Um, I tell my guys, if we're rolling out to the right, my right tackle and my right guard will take a hard right step to our point of attack, which is that outside shoulder, and our second step follows at the crotch to cut them off there, and then we work our hips around to make that block so we can get that roll out to the outside. And the backside will hinge there, so they're just like a regular kick slide. 50 block is what we kind of call it at Fleming County. Your eyes while you're in pass pro, head up in stance, see what's in front of you. Survey the scene before you go to work. So see if you have your blitzing linebacker, your corner blitz, those delayed blitzes, stuff like that, just so you can kind of see what's coming at you whenever it does come at you, even if it is delayed. Look for work when you're not covered up. So I'm a big Colts fan, so I like to talk about Quentin Nelson a lot, because that guy is always looking for work whenever he's playing on Sundays, Thursdays, Mondays, whatever their schedule is. And we like to talk about him a lot in practice. And that guy, if he's not covered up, he's looking for work. He's made for pass pro, he's made for run block, all that kind of stuff, because he is always looking for work. Blitz pickup. So another, like I was saying earlier, have your eyes up so you can see what's in front of you, so you can pick that up whenever you have a guy coming at you. And eyes lead to verbal communication. So I talk to my guys all the time. Communicate. Talk to the guy beside you so you know what's going on. If I'm playing guard, or our guys are out there playing guard, if they see something that the center doesn't see, a twist or anything like that, or a slant, then our guys, I teach them to talk, to have their eyes up so they can talk to the guy beside them, so we can pick up the right blitz and stuff like that. When to make contact. When the defender is in striking distance. So we don't want to get overextended with our arms or our hands. If we get overextended, that's whenever you'll see a lineman make a move, whether a defensive lineman make a move, whether that's pulling them down, the swim, any of that kind of stuff. Chin / head down, not too much there. I kind of once you get that synced in, whenever you get your hands on them, you sink your hips and put your head to your chin, because you're kind of close in contact there, where you're going to be able to see what that guy's going to do. Do not reach. So that's again with the overextension part. You don't want to reach for a defender. It's kind of, you want them to make a move so you can kind of bring them in closer to you. So that way you're not overextending, you're not reaching, you're just making that block that you need to make. Do not overextend. Kind of went over that just now. Do not lean on the defender. That's another kind of overextension thing too. If you're leaning with your weight on that defender, you're gonna cause them to make a move that you don't see coming, whether that be the pull down, the the shake off, any of that kind of stuff. And your knees are bent. You don't want to have your legs straight up and down. If you do, it's kind of the balance thing again. If your knees are bent, you can absorb that contact better. If your legs are straight, you won't be able to kind of do that. You'll be off balanced, and the defender will kind of be able to do whatever he wants to do with you at that point. Hand placement. So I teach my guys to have the hands tight on the chest plate. If you get your hands outside, that's where you'll see more penalties come out and stuff for holding and such. So your thumbs are up, your hands are on the chest plate. That it's kind of like you're driving a car. You have your hands on the wheel. The chest plate for the defender is kind of like your steering wheel, so you can move them in the direction you want them to go. If the defensive lineman gets outside, so if you're playing tackle and that defensive lineman decides to go outside, that your inside hand kind of moves down onto the hip, and you're just going to ride them out to the sideline, away from where your quarterback's kind of in the pocket there. Quarterback rollouts, as I was talking earlier, with our steps. So I teach my guys to that outside foot is stepping at that outside shoulder. The hand on the inside goes to that outside shoulder to kind of make a cutoff point for you to be able to work your hips around, and you move your hands back down on that chest plate and use that chest plate as a steering wheel to get them to go, where you want them to go for that play that you're running on the outside. Like I just said, work your hips around for your hands to be back on tight to that chest plate so you can do what you need to do with that defender. There at the end, I was talking about being aggressive. Like I said, pass pro is not passive. Life in the trenches, all guts, no glory. You hear that all the time whenever you're growing up. From the time you're a kid, you have to be tough if you play up front. Football's for linemen's all guts, no glory, because you're doing the part that nobody talks about, that nobody is going to write about in the paper. Nobody is going to talk to you about after the game. It's all about tackles and touchdowns and all that kind of stuff. So I know it's kind of cliche to say those things, but I just wanted to put that in there because there's a lot of truth to it. Offensive linemen don't get as much glory as they should. Once contact is made, view it as a run block. So once you make contact with that person, you're moving them to from point A to point B. As you've also heard, since you were a kid, you're moving that person where you want them to go. Be violent with your hands. Shoot the hands from the hip, just like a holster, like you see in old Western movies. You're throwing those hands up to the chest plate. So you don't want to be soft while doing that. You're not going to hurt them, like I said earlier. You're going to make contact with them. They're going to make contact with you. You all have pads on, so you don't have to worry about hurting that person. So just play football, because football is meant to be aggressive. Kind of like I was talking earlier, we talk about Quentin Nelson a lot because I'm a big Colts fan. I know we lost yesterday in the wild card round there. But anyway, Quentin Nelson's one of the best linemen to come out, in my opinion, in the last few years out of Notre Dame. He's been with the Colts here the last few years, and this is goes a lot with eyes, contact once you're there. Look for work, because in this video he's not covered up at all, but he is looking for work because he's a lineman's lineman. He's someone you want to watch. So here's just a little clip of him and what he can do in pass pro. You see the defender makes a mistake with the spin move back inside. Quentin was there ready, as he's not covered up, so he's just kind of looking to make that contact with that defender. So I'll kind of play that again here for you. On this last slide, I feel like, Coach, you're kind of pushing the same message for offensive linemen, and just kind of thankful for this opportunity to talk today, just because, I've been a lineman my whole life, from the time I was 7 years old till I graduated college, and now I get to coach that position. And I feel like we're misunderstood. The position's misunderstood, and there's not enough information on actual offensive line play. It's a lot more than just moving a human being from point A to point B. There's a lot that goes into it. I think there's a science to it, to be honest with you. And, I know I'm kind of young, and I always want to learn about offensive line play, whether that be hands, steps, drills to use during practice, anything like that. But this group right here, called O-Line Masterminds, some of these guys, they play in the NFL, and they just kind of talk about how important it is to be an offensive lineman and just kind of not forget how important the position is on the field. Like there's 5 guys up there that have big jobs to do. And, like I said earlier, we talk about touchdowns and points scored and all that kind of stuff. So these guys kind of understand it. They kind of put it out there for guys like us that want to be around offensive line play and just enjoy offensive line play. So I'll play this here too.
Dear football, we are the most thankless position in sports, and we are always overlooked. The only time our names are called is when we mess up. No stats except sacks given up or penalties committed. Nobody knows how to grade us or rate us either. We are bigger than everyone else, but still get bull rushed, pushed around, fingers in our eyes, ankle stepped on, and danced over. But that is fine, as long as our quarterback isn't hit or our running back picks up the first down and we get the win. That's all that matters. Don't forget about us. We'll be in the trenches. Sincerely yours, Lane Johnson. From Quebec, Ryan Jensen. Dear football, we are the most thankless position in sports, and we are always overlooked. The only time.
So that's kind of all I had today, guys. So just, like I said, I'm young. I'm only 26 years old. I'm always one to learn about offensive line play. I'm open to any conversation, whether that be through text, phone call, email. There's my Twitter. You can DM me. I'm happy to talk about any of it. I basically live, eat, breathe football. When season's over, I'm still talking about football. I'm still watching film, getting ready for next season. And thank you for the opportunity to speak to you guys today.